The First Million Words, episode 14, Blogging with Rachel Aaron.
Okay, so she woke up and had a dream that she should write a novel. So she wrote a novel. I think it took her something like, I'm probably getting this wrong. I probably get these emails from Twilight fans. But anyway, she woke up with this dream of this novel. That was Twilight. And she wrote it, I think, in about 6 months. And she never even wanted to be a writer before this, but she thought she'd give it a try. And so she finished it off. She edited it, and she looked up on the internet how to get an agent, and she just sent a query letter to, like, the first agent. Mm-hmm. She got picked up out of the slush pile, sold for a six-figure advance, then her novels went on to become the Twilight Saga.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay, what dark god did you make a pact with? Because I will make him a better offer.
Yeah,
I will.
I'll maybe edit this part out, but yeah, it's like, do you have to be Mormon?
Yeah, right. But it's a crazy story, and people like look at it and say, "Oh, it's so inspiring," and I'm like, okay, I do not find that inspiring. I find that to be a lucky freak, which is not to say she doesn't deserve her success. More power to her. You know, I'm so happy that happened to her. That is awesome. But I don't find it inspiring. What I find inspiring is, you know, like Lynn Vigil, who wrote 10 books and made it. Mm-hmm. The people who kept going, because it takes so much more strength to keep going and to keep trying to get better in the face of rejection than to just hit your first ball out of the park. Mm-hmm. You know, much more as a writer to keep going.
Yeah. And on that topic now of keeping going, that we can bring that around to to blogging. Mm-hmm. And this will be the first topic we've had that is not directly, how to write. Mm-hmm. But I think it's important for, I keep hearing, it's like, oh, you want to be an author, you want to be professional, start blogging right now. And, get your name out there and get something going. Get, 2 years of blogging and then send out that book and get published. What are your views on that?
Well, as someone who actually really never got into the whole blogging thing, I'm much more into it now, but again, I had to get some experience because it's a very different kind of writing than fiction writing, unless you're keeping like a short story or fiction blog. It's very different writing, and I actually always get kind of grumpy about blog posts because it takes me like 3 to 4 hours to write like a 1,000-word blog post, which is where in 3 to 4 hours I can write 4,000 words of prose. Inefficient. Everything must be efficient. Yeah. But that's just me, my anal retentive nature. But I started blogging again because people told me I had to, and I don't think did anything for my writing career. Mm-hmm. But then again, as I said, I'm not really a blogger. I don't think my blog was actually very entertaining. If I had just stumbled upon my blog, it would just be, quite frankly, another blog of another wannabe writer talking about writing. And there are thousands and thousands and thousands of those. So
yeah.
What I would say is, if you like to blog and you enjoy it and you think you're good at it, go for it, because it can and does really help build your brand. But if you don't like blogging, if you have to force yourself to blog and you find yourself constantly writing like, I'm sorry, I haven't posted in so long, and that kind of stuff, and you can't think of any topics you want to write about, you're just not inspired, I wouldn't really waste your time too much on it. I would maintain a web presence. Like, make yourself a website, if nothing else, so that you'll have something when your agent Googles you.
Yeah.
They do that before they sign you to make sure you're not crazy. So if you are crazy, hide it.
Yeah. Don't put it on your blog.
Don't put it on your website. Keep your alien conspiracy theories to yourself. But it's nice. So you need a web presence, and even if all you do is have a WordPress blog that says, hello, I'm so-and-so, and I'm working on this novel, and it's about this, and you can contact me here. Mm-hmm. That's fine. But I would say if you enjoy blogging, if you enjoy Twitter, if you enjoy Facebook, if you like posting on Tumblr, or, you know, if you have a healthy Pinterest thing going, great. That's fantastic, and I'm glad you like it. And it will help you. But if you don't have one, and more importantly, you don't like it, then you're probably going to return on your invested time, is my personal opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like when I started, like blogging, which by the way, I hate saying the word blog and blogging.
We need a new verb.
Yeah. When I started writing on the internets, yeah, I automatically thought like, oh well, this is going to be like writing a research paper, and that's one of the first things I put up as a blog post was this little paper that I wrote. Speaking of Twilight, which we were earlier, it was this basically like a blog post about, or a paper I had written for a class about the difference between, you know, like girls liking vampire stories and boys liking zombie stories.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of, after I put that up, I was like, well, I have to do more stuff like that. So I was like, you know, outlining blog posts of, you know, oh, I'm going to do a blog post in the defense of, you know, writing in the passive voice.
Mm-hmm.
Or, you know, on...
In the passive voice.
Yeah. Yeah, that was another old assignment from a class. So I was like, oh, I can do this. I can keep doing this. Just pull up old assignments. And then I just kind of... I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to write, like, book reviews. So that's pretty much what I do now is book reviews. And, like, if I have a minute, I'll write down, like, I'm bored.
Yeah. And I really honestly do think that there's so many different ways to write on the internet. There's so many, and that's the broadest statement ever. But there really are. Like, and one of the reasons that my blog posts tend to be sort of how-to articles, like generally numbered lists, like 5 steps of editing and that kind of stuff, is because that's what I find easiest and most exciting to write. Like, if you ask me, Rachel, what are you doing today? I would sit and stare at, like, a blank blog page forever because my life is, quite frankly, really boring. I get up, I write, I eat lunch, I write some more, I watch Backyardigans with my son, and, you know, then we play Castle Crashers, you know, and then I play a video game with my husband, and then we go to bed. And how is that a blog post? There's nothing that happened.
Yeah, that should stay in your private journal there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not entertaining, and that's that's something I think people miss is that you're writing for entertainment. So if you have nothing entertaining to say, people aren't going to like your blog, and that can either be encouragement or that can just kill blogging for you.
Yeah.
So,
if you're inclined to write about how your day was, yeah.
Yeah. But then again, I have read blog posts that are supposedly about nothing that are hilarious and that I love. But that's, you know, person is a good blog writer. And I definitely think there are people who are amazing blog writers.
Oh, yeah, there's the legendary John Scalzi.
Yeah.
His whatever blog, yeah.
Yeah, whatever is pretty good.
Yeah.
Although, like, for example, the Oatmeal. I read the Oatmeal. Actually, not the Oatmeal. Hyperbole and a Half.
Uh-huh.
I read Hyperbole and a Half obsessively because that woman cracks me up so much. And she has a book deal now, and I'm going to buy her book, but I don't see how the book could really be funnier than the blog.
Yeah,
because the blog is the perfect medium for her.
I'll have to look that up. That Hyperbole and a Half?
Hyperbole and a Half. It is the funniest thing you will ever read. Oh,
okay. I'll definitely check that out.
Yeah, I die laughing all the time. But constantly.
Yeah.
And I'm like reincarnation number 15, you know.
Well, I'll look it up as soon as we're done here. Yeah.
But it's as far as, you know, if you have a book and you're looking to sell it, or if you're about to finish a book, or if you're writing a book and you're thinking maybe I should start blogging to start building an audience, if you're only blogging to build an audience, you're probably not going to get a return on investment, is my personal opinion and experience. If you're blogging because you like blogging, then, you know, go for it. It can only help. But if you're, like, laboring under the guilt of blogging, then it's probably not helping you. And, you know, unless you have a really, really successful blog, you're going to reach only, you know, a handful of thousand people. And if only, you know, if say 10% of those people buy your book, which would be an amazing number, you know, that's only maybe a couple dozen well, it's only a couple dozen books you're going to sell off your blog before you hit big. Now, once you've become an established author and your books are out, then I would totally recommend having a blog. If for nothing else, it's just a place to put all the interviews and podcasts and things you do. So people can find out more information about you because they're always looking for you. They want to see more of what you do. And I carved out sort of a secondary niche for myself talking about writing.
Yeah.
Which is not exactly a unique thing, but it worked for me. And, but, you know, and there's also, but then you can also do stuff like Kate Nolan, for example. You know, she independently published some of her books, and now has an agent, and I think is shopping a book to New York. But that woman is amazing. She blogs. She has, like, a newsletter. She's on Twitter all the time. She runs, like, 3 websites, and I'm just floored by all the stuff she does. It's amazing. And I could never do that. Yeah. This is not something I am interested in or have talent for. But it works for her. Yeah. She's sold a lot of books. It's all about personal preference and what you're good at, I think.
Okay. Well, I think you're very good at the writing advice ones and everything. I love those.
Thank you. Yeah, I've been actually very, very pleasantly overwhelmed by the positive response because, quite frankly, I just always think, oh, no one's ever going to read this. I'm just talking out of my ass. They don't know. You know, because I talk about my experience and sort of my philosophy and what I've learned from my own writing. Mm-hmm. And the problem with talking about writing is it's so personal. Yeah. Everyone, we're all climbing the mountain, but it's like we're all climbing different mountains. Yeah. Everyone goes their own way, and everyone has their own very personal ways of doing things. And anytime I say, like, for example, when I said, you know, oh, you shouldn't just have people take tours through their world building. Mm-hmm. Immediately thought of 2 people who did that and did awesomely with it. Yeah. There's always exceptions to the rules. There's nothing is certain or final. Mm-hmm. So I guess the most important thing to have as an author is the ability to look critically at what you're doing and ask, is this working?
Yeah, that's one of the hardest things for me to do. I wrote, coming back to the topic here, I wrote a blog post about that using the film. Have you seen the movie Birdemic?
No.
Okay, I wouldn't recommend it, but it is the worst movie of all time. So the first thing I thought was like, what if I'm doing this? You know, what if I have really choppy dialogue and, you know, the sound is bad and I have really horrible CG birds trying to kill people and plot holes and all this. And so I used that as a kind of a springboard to write a blog post on how it's important to have, you know, beta readers or do like a workshop or something like that, or get it professionally looked at and have some kind of outside opinion. And that just came from watching a horrible movie.
Yeah, I'm actually amazed at how many horrible movies get made. And I'm like, didn't anyone watch this before they released it?
Oh, and they're making a sequel that's going to be in 3D.
That is horrifying.
Yeah,
but then again, the movie watching public and the book reading public, very different people.
Yes.
In a lot of ways.
Like I really like those horrible movies. Mm-hmm. You know, like I enjoyed watching Birdemic just because it was so horrible. But if that were a book,
but you just enjoy watching it as a story.
No, exactly. Yeah. If I were to read it as a book, I would get like 20 pages in and not be able to get through it.
Yeah, but then again, there are books that are wonderful in their horribleness. Like, oh God, there's this book that I read ages and ages ago in high school. It was like Escape from Castle Craig or something. Oh, I don't remember. But in the book, it was actually a D&D gamer group gets sucked through a portal into a fantasy world, but they're all their D&D characters, right?
Oh, nice.
And they actually have dice on their wrists that they shake to roll their attacks.
Okay.
And it was so bad. And I remember reading this and saying, this is stupid as hell, but I loved it. So, who knows? I was a teenager. That's my excuse.
Yeah. I'm going to have to Google that one now.
I'm trying to remember what it's actually kind of famous in its own horrible way. But there are a lot of D&D style books written, though, in like the late 80s, the mid 80s. And actually, a lot of editorial houses now specifically don't want stories involving a D&D party with like a warrior and a thief and a mage.
Yeah. Yeah,
And,
which I find myself doing all the time. I'm like, oh, I need a healer here now, you know.
Yeah. And though honestly, I would say that, you know, as with all things, it went too far, there was a backlash. And now I bet, you know, if the right D&D sucked into another world gamer story came up, it could sell.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, look at, you know, Ready Player One.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's more of using video games as a conceit. I actually haven't read it, but I've heard amazing stuff about it.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, I liked it because it answered the question, who would win in a fight between Ultraman and Mechagodzilla?
These are very serious issues of consideration.
Oh, yes.
Oh, that's not all I have to say about that.
Okay. So we're going to probably have to make this a little bit quick just to, you know, to avoid that happening. Because it's the heat. I swear it's the heat. And that's been affecting like the show too. We had an episode released late, which I know, you know, it's nice to be on a schedule, but I mean, it's podcasting. We can put it out whenever, you know, and you'll listen to it whenever.
Yeah, it's like whenever you're like, oh, I want to listen to this. Just download it and then hear it, and then tell all your friends that you loved it, and then have them download it, and then they'll tell a friend, and
they'll tell a friend, and they'll tell a friend.
Then the first million words will just spread like some chlamydia or something.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we've had quite a spike in our listenership lately. It's been nice.
And also a spike in chlamydia.
Yeah, we have, haven't we? Just us two, though.
Yeah. Well, how'd that happen?
I don't know. So
you won't tell. I'm sorry.
We'll just imply. Yeah. So I've been sick, which is not good. It's not fun. I've just been coughing a lot, which I might do at any given point. So if I start just coughing, then just start talking over me.
It's okay. It might be so powerful that you will sneeze yourself into existence.
Yeah. You did that 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's funny.
That was
for those of you who can't view podcasts.
Yeah. Oh man, I wish everybody out there could have seen what I saw, because I'm looking at the screen, and we don't video chat, just because that can create lag sometimes. So we just talk on Skype like without video, and I'm just staring at the computer screen talking to Guillermo, and suddenly he sneezes, and as soon as he like, his picture appeared on the screen, and he looked up at the camera and then back down, and then he disappeared. Because you meant to hit the mute button, but you hit the video button.
Yeah, they both look so similar. I mean,
well, yeah.
One of them is a microphone, and then the other one is well, okay, they look nothing alike. I'm just, I was.
Which, by the way,
it's like that.
You what?
Yeah.
Go on.
Oh no, just that split second before you sneeze, you're not really thinking clearly.
Yeah, exactly. Which, by the way, I think I need a new microphone, because I kind of split the one I have in half, and it's kind of being held together daintily by duct tape.
Just duct tape and Jesus, and it's just keeping it together.
Yeah, that's the only thing that holds my microphone together.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Oh, maybe Jesus will like come down, and we'll be like, we only have this one microphone. He's like, well, here, check this out. Yes, now you have 2 microphones. Now you have 4 microphones.
Now 8. Now feed the 5,000.
With a microphone.
With a microphone, yeah. That would be some miracle. Yeah. I think there would be a lot of new converts if that happened.
Well, I'm pretty sure he'd have more important stuff to do than
to fix to multiply my microphone for no reason.
It's like, hey Jesus, oh what is it? I was kind of busy, healing the sick.
Yeah, but I think you're thinking of like
my microphone's broken.
Yeah, you're thinking of like Stoner Jesus, who just does weird things just cause. But anyway, so since the last time we spoke, which we didn't do an episode together last week, and that really it hurt. It left an empty hole in my gut.
Where the chlamydia is.
Yeah, and so how have you been doing, writing-wise, since we last talked?
Well, I finally, it's funny because I finally realized that the answer to my little story block, my little mental block.
Oh yeah, you had a little bit of a. It wasn't really writer's block. It was just kind of a, how do I do this?
Right, and it came to me in a dream. Jesus brought it to me.
Nice.
When he was,
do you want to share with us the specifics of it?
Oh, well, it's just the motivations for a character. Sometimes I'm like, wait a minute, because sometimes you'll be seeing, something in a movie or reading something in a book, and you're going to be like, and you think, wait, what is the motivation for this character? It's like when you're watching, like, I don't know, like a Lord of the Rings movie. Like, if a dude just, like joined the party for no reason, you'd be like, wait, why is he in this? Why is he putting himself on the line where he could have just been...
Yeah, it's like Gary the Hobbit doesn't just show up and be like, hey, guys.
It's like, yeah, I was kind of bored.
Epic quest? All right.
Yeah. Yeah, I was... But, I mean, it's... I just needed some motivation, realistic motivation for the character. And I kind of didn't know how to portray it. So I finally just realized, I could just ask them what the motivation is because it makes total sense.
Yeah. And you don't have to. You don't really have to do that boring exposition thing.
Exactly.
You can have them just kind of telling their reasons. And I think it's, when you start writing it from their perspective, that's a lot. It flows a lot better out of you than if you were, kind of trying to write like a story Bible about it.
Right, it flows like water.
Just let the character talk, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you for that horrible image.
But it just, when it hit me, I was like, this is what I've been stuck on for the past, month? Are you kidding me? And it was so simple, I don't know. But anyway, my story is back on track.
Good. I've been jonesing for the next chapter, because you kind of left me hanging on the last one.
Yeah, it's doing well. I mean, it's just I realized that I need to put more comedy in it because it's kind of like, I don't know. I had created this one character for comedy purposes, and then it just kind of disappears. Like in the first sort of rough draft, my little outline of the chapter itself, and I'm like, well, this could I could use her more in something, but I don't know. It's just like, I don't know. I think I kind of, blew my writer's load on the two chapters before that when it came to writing something actually kind of funny.
Oh, the redneck trolls.
Yeah,
which by the way, yeah, I'm about 90% through. I just started reading Monster Hunter International. I know I'm a couple of years late to the game, but they had redneck elves in that.
Yeah, I didn't know about that.
It doesn't spoil your book or anything. Just because you have redneck trolls, and it's very different. These are like trailer park elves, and I think one of them is described as looking like Kid Rock with Spock ears.
Oh,
which
okay.
That line made me lol very hard.
Well, the thing is, I kind of they're not villains. Not that they know that they're villains. It's just. And plus, I tried to make them, like the rednecks that I know. The rednecks that I know are actually very, nice, decent people. Yeah. They're just, they just like different things, which is fine. I'm not gonna, I'm not the arbiter of what's accepted and what's not.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. And most of them, they're very, not like they're portrayed on TV or some of the other ones that I've met. We're talking more of like the, here, let me fix your car type of redneck instead of the, you ain't from around here, is your boy? Kind of redneck.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I decided to make them. I tried to make them, a little bit balanced, considering that they're completely fictional characters and trolls don't exist in real life.
Except on the internet, yes.
Yeah, except on the internet. They like sending email. Thanks for that, some of you guys. But
have you been getting troll email?
Well, I've been getting some email.
Oh, okay.
Which I'm like, okay. Well, I'm sorry you didn't find that funny. It was was a joke. But that's cool. You know, that's we're not gonna say your I'm not gonna say your name on the on the podcast or anything, Steve. But no, I'm kidding.
Take that,
Steve
Steve.
is well, Steve is kind of for those of you who don't listen to our inside conversation that's never recorded and is between the both of us. Steve is the go-to guy for to blame for things.
Yeah, yeah. It's like that's just the name you drag up whenever you need to just blame somebody or ridicule somebody. It's
yeah,
always
exactly.
Steve's
Like the
fault.
villains, like the villains in Arkham City. It's just like just have conversations between the two villains.
Oh yeah. Oh, I remember that. I thought you were gonna have a boring time because we were just hanging out, and I was like, I really want to play Arkham City, but it's not a two-player game. Do you mind? And you're like, oh no, I'll just sit back and hang out. And I was like, okay, so I'm gonna play. And then Guillermo starts coming up with the side stories of like backstories of all the henchmen that you fly by, and they're like, man, it's snowing again. And yeah, all of them were named Steve for some reason, and
I wonder if Mr. Freeze did this. Oh no, I'm pretty sure it's some other snow-based supervillain that's creating. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was funnier at the. I can't.
you had to be there.
that.
I wish I could have had a camera and recorded it because it was pretty funny, but
But it was fun.
I'm not
I mean, it's
wearing
just-
hockey pads.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Batman. So, are you? We have the Amazing Spider-Man and we have the Dark Knight Rises coming out next month. I am excited for both.
Yeah, I'm excited for Spider-Man. I think it's got good potential. Dark Knight, I'm still gonna go see it opening night, but
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I'm not expecting another Dark Knight.
Yeah, well,
Maybe
I'm gonna be
Maybe it
one
will-
of those losers that like goes to the whole trilogy showing in like IMAX 3D. That's gonna be me. I'm gonna be sitting there for like what are they 2.5 like 8 hours just about in a row, just like absorbing Batman. Which why? Okay, Batman is why is he my favorite superhero? You know, I think this is a good question for writing stuff. Why is Batman my favorite? He's not very deep. You know, he just wants he just wants justice, and he's very black and white. He won't kill. You know, and he's the strongest person and the smartest person. You know, so what makes him such an interesting character?
it's his villains. Like
Yeah.
the people he fights. I'm telling you, it's like
Yeah,
I think
you're right.
one of the reasons why like Superman. Well, Superman is huge, but like one of the reasons why they can't really make a decent Superman movie, except for maybe Superman 2. I dug Superman 2.
Oh yeah, me too. Except what was
but,
up with the weird giant S that he threw? I don't get it.
Yeah, that was like
That was not
it's
canon.
like yeah, I'm just like, wait a minute. Did you just throw saran wrap at me? Maybe. Is that a power that you get from Krypton? No, it's a little thing I got.
I got it at Sam's Club.
And it could somehow, is it made out of kryptonite? Because that kind of hurt. No, it's just, bat secret, I don't know.
So anyway,
But that
they can't
well,
make a
that's
good
fun.
Superman
It's
movie.
fun. Well, it's just, some of the villain, I don't know. Like how, I think you could make a really cool Superman movie with just something like Brainiac.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't think anyone can truly capture the essence of Brainiac.
Yeah, even they did it on Smallville. James Marsters played him.
Yeah,
he did pretty well,
Smallville is,
I like Smallville.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
be talking mess about my Smallville.
Yeah, Smallville is,
Oh come on,
that was special. It was,
dude.
it
Hawkman was in
okay,
it at
except
the
for
end
the fact,
in full
yeah, but
armor.
I'm just like, so it's like you have managed to completely ruin all the Superman villains. Congratulations.
Well,
Yeah, I didn't think it was possible.
Yeah, okay. They didn't do too good.
I mean, well, his villains aren't really too awesome to begin
Yeah, I
with.
think that's what we were getting at, except for Doomsday.
Like, yeah. Well, Doomsday was kind of two-dimensional. But
Yeah, but I
mean,
sometimes I like, my bad guys to be just killing machines like that, especially when you're talking about a hero like Superman who's indestructible pretty much. to have something that just wants to kill come up and kill him, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, yeah. And then he dies, and then he turns into like 5 different Superman. So I'm not gonna say Superman. I'm gonna say Superman.
Superman's. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, and then that was weird and awkward. So we're just like, oh, well, all right. Well, I wonder what Marvel's doing.
Yeah.
And then you
Deadpool. Okay. So yeah, that's it about Batman. It's like I think the things that he faces is what makes him interesting. It's his villains. So yeah. Good job.
He has really awesome villains.
He does.
Like each villain could be like a villain for someone else, but like they work best with Batman. Like, and they're all so varied. Like Ra's is nowhere. He's like nothing like the Joker. Who is nothing like Killer Croc.
Ra's al Ghul is in Arkham City, and they keep calling him Rachel al Ghul. So I wonder what the correct pronunciation is.
I don't.
I mean, I know it's sure. It's what language?
It's Arabic.
Arabic, yeah, and it means head of the demon, Ra's al Ghul. So I wonder. I'll have to look it up. That's a really boring topic. I'm not going to talk about. So, So my writing lately, I've actually had a lot of kind of epiphany moments, and I think it's because of like my sick and drug induced, like NyQuil drug, not bath salts.
It's like, wait, so you've not only have you written another version of Alice in Wonderland, but you also bit off someone's face.
Yes. No, I just I've just been having a lot of ideas, so I'm putting the ideas in my little idea folder on Google Drive, and then I created a folder there called the Incubator, and I've just been outlining all of my stuff so that when I'm not sick anymore, because I don't. When I'm sick, I just can't do anything. I can't sit and read. I can't write. I can play video games, and I can listen to audiobooks. That's about everything that my mind will let me do. So as soon as I'm done with being sick, I'm gonna take these story seeds that I have, and I'm gonna start running with them, and I'm gonna make a conscious effort to really write every day. I know we say like don't worry about writing every day, just try to write as much as you can whenever you can, but I'm really going to try to write every day. So that's something that Rachel was talking about. The last episode we did was actually maybe 2 episodes ago, she was talking about how she writes somewhere where there's no internet access, and I think that's maybe what I need to start doing. So that's my plan, because I always get distracted, so I'm very easily.
So you're not like me, where I'm like, oh, I kind of need motivation on this outlaw biker character. I think I'm gonna watch Sons of Anarchy, and then I just 2.5 seasons later, I'm like, oh, I can't stop watching Sons of Anarchy. I should be writing.
Nice. Just imagine the characters from Sons of Anarchy telling you that you should be writing. That should do it.
Yeah, just like beating me up and like pointing guns at my head.
That a good show? I never really got into it, or I never tried getting into it really.
It is very addictive, very. It's like the writing is pretty cool. It's pretty good. Mm-hmm. I mean, sometimes you kind of know where things are going, but sometimes they throw curveballs at you. Yeah. But I completely love that show now. I can't stop watching it. Nice. In fact, I'm watching it right now in my head.
Okay, on Hulu. Okay, anyway, let's wrap it up now. This was our last episode with Rachel Aaron, and I hope everybody out there really enjoyed it, where we were talking about blogging, which isn't a strictly writer, topic, and it doesn't really...
No, you can pretty much blog about anything.
Yeah. And also, it's, it doesn't really count... sometimes it counts towards your... word count, I guess, but
right. Unless you're like going on some sort of some sort of WebMD type blogging thing and talking about your corns.
Well, that can help.
I don't
know.
Well, maybe
use it for motivation,
like your corn
for a character.
Maybe if they're like, you could do that. I mean, if your corns are like a character in your book, like some sort of corn.
I have something that I'm going to add to my idea folder. So on that note,
hey, corn monster's mine.
Yeah. So on that note, don't forget RachelAaron.net, and you can follow her at Rachel_Aaron on Twitter, and I believe she has an author page on Facebook too. And
And
you can follow us. You what?
Blog. Her blog.
Pretentious title. Yeah, you can get a link there from rachelaaron.net. There should be a link in some of our show notes too for previous episodes. And maybe I'll put one in this episode too now that I'm thinking about it. So you can also follow us on Twitter at FMW Podcast. And I am at Ben_J_L. Guillermo is
G-Velez80.
at G-Velez80. So until next week, we're going to have a bonus episode coming up pretty soon, and it's a lot of fun, so listen. And until then, I am Benjamin J. Love.
And I am Guillermo, I don't know, currently browsing hard drive Velez.
Right! You weren't going to say Guillermo, son of anarchy, Velez?
I don't, I'm not a biker, they scare me.
You know, Ron Perlman really does look like a shaved Wookiee.
I keep expecting him to, like, just pull out a bowcaster and shoot me, but
From a motorcycle.
never happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.